Welcome everyone to day 12 of our V.E.D.A challenge, V.E.D.A vlogging every day in April. And no, I'm not wearing the same shirt on purpose. I recorded two V.E.D.As in a row. You guys know the story of the last one. If not, go watch the last one. But today, seeing as how I had fuck United in my video before, how about we just put fuck JBL in this one? So if you guys are new to the channel, it's no secret I'm a huge wrestling fan, have been for years. And one John Bradshaw Layfield, who is a color commentator over on SmackDown Live, a story has broken now that the lead play-by-play announcer, Mauro Ronaldo, a native Canadian as well, and was one of the key figures in the Fight Network launching. I'm just going to give my personal opinion. I don't really like Mauro Ronaldo as an announcer. I think he's just a little bit too over the top. He treats every match like it's like the match of the year, which, you know, you do have to try to get some other stuff over, but, you know, I digress. So he hasn't been on SmackDown or even at WrestleMania or anything in the last few weeks, and people were wondering what's going on. At first, they were like, "Oh, there was a giant snowstorm, some people got missed their flights or whatever," and then he just never came back. And now it's kind of like he's gonna let his contract expire, and he's just gonna go back to doing MMA. And it has come out that apparently JBL has been a gigantic bully to Mauro, so much so that it caused him to quit. And this is not the first incident of JBL doing this. I believe, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was an on-air kind of authority figure. He was like one of the network people. He brought like the juniors to SmackDown, and he was like the right-hand man of Taylor Long, and he left due to something like this. And it's come out in the last couple of days that last couple of months that Mauro Ronaldo is a advocate of speaking about mental health, and as someone who, struggles with that on a daily basis as well. Case in point, my cancellation of stuff last night, and, the reason I had to put out two V.E.D.As right now. Yeah, so they've come to light now where there's a hashtag going, Fire JBL. They are purposely removing fans from the arenas that have anti-JBL signs. And oddly enough, all this is like starting to come to a head now for today's day. So if you guys don't know, today in Canada, April 12th, is Pink Day, or International Pink Day. So what that means is that there were student in Nova Scotia who was being bullied. I don't know if it was just because of his sexual orientation. If he is a homosexual, I'm not sure. I probably should have researched everything before I brought this up, but suffice to say, he was being bullied. I think it was because of a pink shirt. I think he wore a pink shirt, and he was gay, and he was just getting bullied hard. So a bunch of students, in solidarity, stood up to the bullies, and the very next day wore pink shirts in solidarity and to show that they supported him. So it's kind of been adapted, and so basically on April 12th, you wear a pink shirt to show that you stand up for bullying, you stand up for equal rights. Unfortunately, I don't own a pink shirt. I would have worn one today. Just, it's nothing I own. Though I have been contemplating looking for, at least if I'm going to get a pink shirt, want one that's video game related. So looking at some Kirby shirts online. But back to the case in point. Yeah, like if they're not gonna they're not gonna fire JBL over this, and honestly they should, because I think in protest of this, like anytime that Be a Star campaign comes up where it's like, oh, show tolerance and respect, and don't be a bully, be a star, they should automatically boo and then start chanting Fire Bradshaw, which they have been doing at SmackDown. So you SmackDown people, keep at it. Also, I've been seeing that JBL has been blocking anyone on Twitter. I always get those two confused. He's been banning people on Twitter that show any support towards Mauro, anything that's retweeted, even if he's not even mentioned. It's even got to the point where Ross of What Culture, who's now made like such a nickel and dime off of his catchphrase that John o'clock motherfuckers when JBL makes a mistake in commentary, and now he's just like, you know what? I don't even want it. It's just like fire the asshole, and then we'll sell off the rest of the T-shirt that we made. We'll make it another name, their money off of his dime. And if this somehow gets circulated and I get banned from him, perfect. I'll say this right to you, Rand, and I agree with Paul Heyman. The only reason you're a WWE champion for an entire year during the first brand split is because no other big main eventer wanted to go to SmackDown and rule over you. I mean, everyone likes to talk about, those 2 years Triple H buried everyone with the World Heavyweight title. JBL did worse than that on SmackDown. That's actually when I stopped watching SmackDown, is when he became champion. I'm like, I could care less what happens on SmackDown. I flipped right back over to Raw because Raw was a more interesting program at the time. Yeah, so if he blocks me, whoopee, I'll pin my hat on that. I got blocked by someone I don't care about. Good riddance. Anyways, guys, that's been my little rant. This has been day 12 of our V.E.D.A challenge. We'll see you tomorrow, and fuck JBL.